For years, a luxurious property perched on a hilltop in Los Angeles held secrets that few could have imagined. In 2018, when César Millán, known globally as the Dog Whisperer, moved into that residence, no one could have predicted the unexpected turn his life would take. That mansion, once a symbol of success and triumph, became the epicenter of an investigation that would put his reputation on the line. Authorities launched a meticulous review that spanned over 3 years. During that time, they examined in detail training manuals, private recordings, financial documents, and never-before-seen audiovisual materials. Finally, in 2021, the results of this long, silent investigation came to light. What they uncovered shocked even his most loyal fans. From controversial training techniques to financial troubles that threatened to bring down his entire empire. This is the true story of what happened inside César Millán's world. Born in 1969 in Culiacán, Mexico, César grew up in extreme poverty. He lived with his family on a modest ranch, with no running water or electricity. From a young age, he showed a special connection with animals. His grandfather, recognizing this gift, nicknamed him El Perrero, or Dogman. By the age of 13, César already dreamed of becoming the best dog trainer in the world. Though his friends mocked his ambition, that deep desire would go on to define his life. Ranch life shaped his unique perspective on canine behavior. While other trainers studied theories at universities, he observed the dogs on the ranch, watching how they interacted, how natural hierarchies formed, and how leaders established authority not with violence, but with calm, assertive energy. These observations laid the foundation for his training philosophy, a blend of instinct, discipline, and calm energy. His method won admiration from many and sharp criticism from others. In December 1990, at just 21 years old, he made a decision that would change his life forever. With only $100 in his pocket, he crossed the US border illegally. He didn't speak English, and the journey was extremely dangerous. Years later, he revealed he had paid a coyote to help him cross and nearly drowned in the process. Upon arriving in San Diego, his first days were filled with hardship. He slept under bridges and survived by washing cars in residential neighborhoods. But he never lost sight of his goal: to work with dogs. In those early months, his ability to handle difficult animals began to catch people's attention. While working at a dog grooming salon, clients noticed that even the most aggressive dogs calmed down in his presence. His reputation spread quickly, and soon, people from across the city were asking him to help with their problem pets. His big break came when he opened the Dog Psychology Center in South Los Angeles. Though it was in a rough neighborhood and little more than a dirt lot, the center gained a reputation for rehabilitating dogs other trainers had given up on. César worked with the animals in packs using his leash-based control method, and the results spoke for themselves. Hollywood celebrities began bringing him their troubled dogs. One of the first was actress Jada Pinkett Smith, who was so impressed by his work that she paid for his English classes and helped him professionalize his business. But she gave him one condition: if he didn't make it in a year, he'd go back to walking dogs. Her support proved critical. Thanks to her, César met television producers who became interested in his story. In 2004, National Geographic took a chance on the young Mexican immigrant with a fresh approach. The show Dog Whisperer with César Millán debuted without much fanfare but quickly became the channel's most-watched program, airing in over 80 countries. The concept was simple. César visited homes with dogs showing behavioral issues and transformed them in minutes using calm, assertive energy. Audiences were captivated. The show's success catapulted César to international fame and launched a multimillion-dollar empire. He published best-selling books, launched a magazine, introduced a pet product line, and even created his own dog food brand. At its peak, his company, Caesar's Way Incorporated, was valued at over $25 million. His signature line, "I rehabilitate dogs," was the proud declaration of a man who had once slept under bridges and now appeared to have achieved the American dream. But with fame came scrutiny. As his profile rose, so did criticism from experts and professional organizations. Veterinarians, behaviorists, and animal welfare groups publicly questioned his methods. His techniques included neck touches, choke collars, and tools many deemed outdated or harmful. The American Veterinary Society of Animal Behavior issued a strong statement rejecting the dominance theory at the core of his philosophy. One of the biggest scandals erupted in 2006, when an episode showed César holding down a dog named Shadow with a choke collar until it lost consciousness. The footage sparked a wave of outrage. Dozens of viewers filed complaints with National Geographic, and animal rights organizations labeled the incident as clear abuse. The network defended César, but the controversy didn't end there. Later, documents uncovered at his residence revealed that the unedited footage was even more disturbing. Shadow had remained unconscious for nearly 30 seconds. Some crew members voiced concern at the time, but their warnings were ignored. Amid public pressure, National Geographic began including disclaimers advising viewers not to replicate the techniques shown. Yet the damage to his image was already done, and the criticism only intensified. By 2010, as opposition mounted, César's personal life began to unravel. His beloved pit bull, Daddy, his inseparable companion and a cornerstone of the show, died of cancer at age 16. César called him his mentor. His loss was devastating. Shortly after, his wife of 16 years, Illusion, filed for divorce, requesting custody of their children, alimony, and a significant portion of their assets. Personal journals found at César's home revealed the emotional toll of that time. In one entry he wrote, "When Daddy died, a part of me died too. He wasn't just a dog. He was my teacher, my guide, my best friend." During Daddy's final weeks, César slept on the floor beside him, refusing to leave his side. The grief, combined with the family breakup, pushed him into a deep depression. In May 2010, César attempted to take his own life by ingesting a mix of tranquilizers and sleeping pills. He later admitted this was the darkest moment of his life. Paramedics saved him, and he was rushed to the hospital. His blood pressure was dangerously low, and his breathing nearly undetectable. He spent 3 days in intensive care before being transferred to a psychiatric clinic for specialized care. Medical reports made clear it was a serious attempt, not a cry for help. The combination of fame, personal loss, and relentless criticism had driven him to the edge. The divorce had significant financial consequences. Court records show Illusion received a $400,000 lump sum, $23,000 per month in alimony, and an additional $10,000 per month for child support. She was also awarded several family properties. Meanwhile, Dog Whisperer's audience declined. New shows featuring less controversial trainers began to gain popularity. In 2012, National Geographic announced that the 9th season would be the last. Though César tried to reinvent himself with projects like César 911 and Dog Nation, none matched the success of the original. His empire began to show cracks. Some of his businesses struggled to stay afloat. In 2015, controversy returned when, during a taping of César 911, a dog attacked a pig during a training session. The incident triggered investigations by Animal Control and the LA County Sheriff's Department. No charges were filed, but his image took another hit. Petitions to cancel his shows began circulating. Unreleased footage from that episode revealed the situation was more serious than what aired. The dog, a French bulldog mix named Simon, had a known history of attacking small animals. During the shoot, he was deliberately exposed to pigs without adequate safety measures. When the attack occurred, the crew was slow to intervene. The pig sustained a serious ear injury requiring immediate veterinary care. County records indicated potential animal cruelty charges that could have led to jail time. But his legal team argued it was an accident during legitimate training. The case was dropped, but the legal battle and crisis management cost him over $200,000, according to his financial records. Despite these setbacks, César showed remarkable resilience. Determined not to let controversy define his legacy, he focused on expanding his brand internationally. In Asia, where his dominance-based approach faced less opposition, his popularity surged. He opened a new training center on a 45-acre ranch, offering programs for both dogs and their owners. He also found a new partner, Jahiradar, and in 2016, they announced their engagement. However, when investigators reviewed his finances after his 2018 move, they discovered his empire was no longer as strong as it once was. Official documents showed that several of his companies were undergoing debt restructuring, with liabilities exceeding their assets. Caesar's Way Incorporated, once a hallmark of success, had drastically scaled back operations. Many of its product lines were discontinued due to low profitability. Bankruptcy filings from his companies painted a bleak picture. For instance, César Millán Pet Products reported debts of $4.2 million against just $890,000 in assets. Another company, César's Way Publishing, had posted losses exceeding $1.7 million for 3 consecutive years. With his businesses floundering, his only relatively stable income came from speaking engagements and international licensing deals. Perhaps most revealing were internal emails and memos outlining how his team planned to handle the growing backlash. These documents detailed strategies to hire scientific consultants to publicly support dominance theory, even though it had been widely discredited. They also included PR plans to rehabilitate his image in the media. One particularly damning memo suggested selectively editing TV sessions to remove controversial scenes. Communications between César and producers made it clear they had to minimize footage of physical corrections. One producer wrote, "We need to cut the more aggressive corrections and focus on before and after results, without showing too much of the process." Another email explained how to use specific camera angles to hide any physical gestures during training. These editorial choices raised serious questions about the authenticity of the content. Former employees testified that real training sessions were far more physical than what appeared on screen. Others described a toxic work environment where questioning methods could get you fired on the spot. The investigation also uncovered multiple out-of-court settlements with dog owners who claimed their pets were injured during training sessions with César or his certified trainers. The total amount of these settlements exceeded $1.5 million since 2007, with individual payouts ranging from $50,000 to $415,000. The most alarming case involved a German Shepherd who suffered 3 broken ribs during a live demonstration. Another involved a Cocker Spaniel who developed severe anxiety requiring long-term medication after a session at the Santa Clarita Dog Psychology Center. All settlements included confidentiality clauses prohibiting public disclosure. But the most damaging blow to his reputation came from private training videos found at his former residence. Unlike the polished episodes that aired on TV, these raw recordings showed the full extent of his interventions with aggressive dogs. Animal behavior experts who reviewed the footage noted that many dogs did not display signs of submission but rather fear. In several clips, dogs that appeared calm on screen were actually experiencing high levels of stress. One particularly disturbing scene showed César forcefully pressing a dog's neck until it collapsed, while explaining to viewers that the dog was surrendering and not suffering. Veterinarians who analyzed the footage identified multiple signs of acute distress: dilated pupils, excessive panting, trembling, and stressed body language, all of which had been edited out in the final TV version. Internal records also confirmed that the sustainability of his dog psychology centers relied almost entirely on international operations. As criticism grew in the US, UK, and Canada, the company shifted focus to countries with looser animal welfare regulations. By 2017, over 70% of revenue came from Asia, particularly China, where dominance-based methods faced less backlash. Meanwhile, the main center in Santa Clarita operated at a significant loss, only staying afloat thanks to television and live event earnings. Course enrollments declined sharply, while positive reinforcement training centers gained ground. Several facilities licensed under César's name shut down or rebranded to distance themselves from the scandal. Still, César retained a loyal following. Many pet owners credited his methods with saving their dogs' lives when no other options remained. Supporters highlighted his work with rescue groups and his foundation's efforts to improve animal welfare in underserved communities. For them, critics failed to understand the full context of his techniques or how they had evolved. In response to the wave of revelations, César issued an official statement acknowledging that some of his earlier methods were no longer part of his current practice. He emphasized that his approach had changed, now prioritizing exercise, balanced discipline, and affection over physical corrections. "My methods have evolved as I've learned more about canine psychology," he stated. "I've always wanted to save dogs' lives and keep families together." Within the world of dog training and behavior, opinions on his legacy remain divided. Some professionals credit him with raising public awareness around the importance of exercise, structure, and human energy in dog behavior. Others accuse him of delaying scientific progress in the field by promoting dominance theory as the primary model for years. Most experts, however, agree on one thing. The controversy surrounding César Millán marked a turning point in the dog training industry. It sparked a shift toward evidence-based methods and positive reinforcement. Today, modern training shows and the new generation of trainers advocate for a more respectful approach. One based on emotional and cognitive understanding of dogs rather than force. César Millán still works with dogs, but from a much lower profile. The empire that was once worth over $25 million has significantly shrunk. Dog Whisperer continues only through reruns and digital content, a remnant of its former glory and the many controversies that defined his career. To many in the animal welfare movement, the investigations into his methods and business practices marked a before and after. They changed how dog training is presented to the public, with greater emphasis on ethics and transparency. Today's trainers stress the importance of respecting each dog's individuality, emotions, and specific needs, leaving behind the dominance-based models that ruled the screen for more than a decade. The rise and fall of César Millán stands as a cautionary tale about the power of fame and its consequences. The man who transformed how millions understood their dogs is now a controversial figure within the very world he helped shape. His legacy is complex, a blend of genuine passion for animals, undeniable charisma, and training methods that failed to evolve with the science. The records found in his home, now part of the public domain, tell the story of a self-taught man who built an empire through talent and a carefully crafted image. As one former colleague put it, César truly believed he was helping dogs. The tragedy was not realizing he needed to change when the evidence became too clear to ignore. What happened inside César Millán's mansion didn't just reveal shocking secrets. It also sparked a necessary debate about how we treat the animals who trust us most. His story, filled with highs and lows, reminds us that even those who seem to have all the answers face deep personal battles. What do you think about everything that's come to light? Does César deserve a second chance? Or has his legacy been permanently tarnished? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're interested in real-life stories that are powerful and full of nuance, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a new video. Thanks for staying with us until the end. We'll see you soon with more stories that deserve to be told.